Testing, testing, one, two,
Today
three.
I'm gonna like to be anything.
Da, 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 da. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone. So leave a message. No sé.
Nothing at all. Ooh, 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 nothing at all. Ooh.
Tantas palabrotas.
Ahí está. There was an idea. Tú sabes lo que decir.
To bring together a group of remarks.
stressful, confused. I haven't slept like as I would like to, but funny, kind of funny. Well, actually, we had lots of problems because yesterday, at the very last moment, we had to change the original plan. So it was like we actually lost the first day. So we were like kind of angry and stressful and trying to argue and to came up with an idea, the right solution. So right now, our project is focused on um, elderly people, how to provide a system that can actually take care or can pass make easier take care of elder people using technology, data analysis, and all that technology, artificial intelligence. Well, as last year I had I I could participate in this event. I knew that it was like kind of stressful, but yesterday we had problems trying to argue with my team, and it was kind of difficult because is this year my team is like my friends that I've been working with for the last 2 years, and it was kind of difficult to understand or to yeah to understand the situation and the difference between the teamwork and the friendship part. Like I am fighting with my friend because we have different point of view, and all that is kind of more stressful for me. But I think that at the very last moment we came up with an idea, and that's the basically and the general purpose of this event, that you can manage the stress and you can came up with an idea and all that part. Today we're going to try to finish as much as we can. We were really happy to finish the old project, so tomorrow we can focus on the presentation. But it is still like we have to make more research. We have to look at the financial part and all the campus part, the business model. So we are trying to figure out how to manage and to match the ideas that we came out yesterday. So that's basically the goal today, that to basically finish the idea, the presentation, and the prototype. Well, the prototype is not a physical device. It will be more like a software. So we're trying to finish all the templates that we're going to show in the presentation. That's basically our goal today.
And then,
Invent for the Planet was born. So you heard a few words from one of the people from their groups that are working here behind us, and I guess they were having a little bit of troubles within their group yesterday.
Yes, Mitzi. There was a fighting against each other, the teams. Even if they are friends, they were like disagree each other. So kind of that stuff that it was happening, and even right now it's happening.
Yeah, and it's totally understandable. I mean, we were talking about this earlier, I think, and we mentioned it in the other segment, how we've been here more than 30 hours probably by this time. We had like what, 3 hours of sleep maybe, and that's like a good number.
Yeah, I don't know how many hours I slept. Maybe like 2 hours, but then you woke me up.
Yeah.
Because you were screaming. It is early, guys. Good morning. We need to work.
It was time to work. But yeah,
It was time to work,
last
right.
night. So yeah, and it's something that we've seen here today.
But I
We're
wanted to
not
sleep,
even today,
Nancy.
just like yesterday and today. There's disagreements, but I think they're starting to work together. That group. There's good times. There's bad times. Yesterday we were doing like karaoke production team. And I think it was just craziness. But also, I think that what the cool part was that at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, when we went to bed, there were still people working on their problems. So
Yeah.
really, really nice.
And even in other countries, they were like working. And one of the things that we did just like a few hours ago is that Victor Cámara said a few words about how they can manage with these issues. And the analogy about the donuts, and focus on customers and not who's going to buy the product or the money about this.
Yeah, I really liked it because it kind of continued the conversation that we had with Dr. Hildardo Sanchez of like, you know, at the beginning we're kind of like vague and we want to solve a problem, we're not really sure how to get to it, you know, and so that was kind of like the analogy that Victor was giving is that like this this donut, right? So we have this donut and like we have the idea that we want to sell a donut, but how, you know? And then it's like it gets a little better with the middle donut. It's like you now can like decorate it or whatever, but it's the final product that we are interested in, and that's the final product that we're trying to get these kiddos to accomplish.
Focus on what is this thing it's gonna do. It is focused on the customer. What is the customer gonna do with the product? Is it for eating? Is it for, I don't know, transporting? I don't know.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like they're selling the experience, right? So he gave the example of Starbucks and what else?
The Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, right? It's like they don't just give you an event. It's like, okay, they're going to sell you an experience that's something more than.
And even if they are not using real animals, they're using just like prototypes of animals, like representing the essence and make people feel the experience. That is the word that Victor mentioned.
We'll see what happens with the groups and what they do with their product or their problem solution. So we're gonna show you the video of the first day here at UPY.
Despite how you feel, I've been keeping you tight. In the morning after, in the morning light. You've been acting nasty and I've been feeling fine. Everyone around can
can see the room is empty, and it is because it's time for lunch for the guys, so they can eat and recover energies.
Exactly, a lot of energy that they need back. So lack of sleep and barely
Energy,
eating,
yeah.
it's important to get
Yeah.
fuel.
And we need that energies, but we are here broadcasting this, and this give us energy.
Exactly. Being here with you, we're energized. We're
Yeah, we
energized
are
with that.
excited of being here, so the energy is expressing by our speaking. You know?
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. So we're gonna give you a little bit of
information about the teams that they are developing. Kind of stuff in order to
exactly.
look for a solution for each problem.
Yeah. So we have the Gypsy Danger group, which picked smart elderly care. Basically, what are some types of products is what they're looking for, or services that could be designed to aid the elderly to live more independently, to live more independently and also connected. So that's one of the things that they're going to try to solve as a group, which I think is really important. We have a friend who his grandma fell and got injured, and so that's kind of affected a lot of the family, in general. So how can we prevent these types of accidents in the future? How can we help elderly people live a safer and better life, better quality of life?
Yes, but because they have time for do things, but they cannot do that. So how to manage or how to deal with these things,
For sure.
and in order to do or make a new technology for them.
Exactly.
Just put in a place for fun for them or for distracting them.
Exactly. And then we also have the next team.
The next team, it's called Not Alone. It is about prevent loneliness. And we can say that loneliness is one of the issues that are happening right now in the world. That because of technology, the new ways of communications, people started to communicate
Through social
from
media.
social media,
Exactly.
not face to face, and this is one of the phrases that I could recover yesterday was that internet makes the social pressure an issue.
Yeah, exactly. So yesterday when the groups were presenting their proposals, they mentioned that, and how suicide has become one of the biggest issues nowadays because of social media and everything that social media just puts a lot of pressure. They gave the example of Instagram, right? And how people post all these pictures of how they look so beautiful and everything, but it's not really it's not the reality, actually,
Yeah, but because maybe we express our happy things from social media, we are posting things that we like our food, the moments that we love, a land even that makes us feel good, and we can identify something good in a picture, and that's why we post that.
For sure. And it's also really important to mention, there's a lot of teenagers or young adults who look at these pictures and they think, oh, that's exactly what their life is like. And you have to remember, a lot of the times these are people who dedicate their time to looking good, specifically for their Instagram account or any social media for that matter. And so it's if we're taking pictures of our everyday lives, obviously it's going to be different. It's not going to be the best, So
Yeah, exactly.
what are ways that we can help them is what they're going to also be trying to solve.
And talking about the same thing about communication, as I mentioned, the new ways are the social media. They are being impacted in young lives, and something that
Another cause they mentioned for loneliness.
Another cause they mentioned about this problem of the causes about the drugs.
Yeah.
And he said that Yucatan consumes more alcohol in Mexico, and he said that it is not bad. So.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a reminder, like, hey, everything should be in moderation, because we're gonna have people from both spectrums, people who decide not to drink, people who do decide to drink. But it's just remind yourselves, you know, everything a little bit, and you'll be fine. But it was shocking to find that Yucatan is number one place, and as we heard yesterday or this morning, number one in obesity, as well as number one in alcohol, like
yes.
consuming
alcohol will
in the nation.
The way that they are like trying to help these people is by an app that can help them to not be alone. But they mentioned something that I like caught interesting, like the pets can help these people to get positive emotional things.
Exactly.
Like Kupi here in UPY.
Yeah, the cat that you guys saw earlier in the earlier segment, the little like pet that we have at school.
Yeah, and teacher Ale, she's the teacher.
One of the teachers here at UPY.
English teacher, indeed. She said that Guppy is an emotional support for all the students.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to think of that, because he's always here, Guppy. And it's true. It's like if you're having a bad day, like if you've ever had a pet, a dog, a cat, or anything that you've had, like you feel like unconditional love from that animal, you know. So it's kind of like it helps loneliness, I would say.
Yeah, I personally think that the dogs are better than cats because dogs are more with humans, and the cats just are with humans just for food,
exist.
you know, or when they are hungry.
Yeah, but we'll always have cat people and dog people. And then there's also the Global Roots group that they're going to be working with Global Internet of Things. So they didn't really mention a lot, but they're going to give us more details later on. So we're excited to hear from them.
Yeah, and actually Internet of Things is an interesting topic because, well, here in Yucatan, there is getting companies that are providing the technology here in Yucatan for this kind of stuff. And for example, in Arizona, we know that, for example, Mitzi has in her house a smart system.
Yeah, it was like really interesting because when you mentioned like automized society or like the automation of things, it reminded me of the alarm system that I have at my house where we will go out and visit Sedona or something that's like 3 hours from our house for the weekend. So we're not home and our house is just by itself. And yet, from wherever we are, using an application on our phone, like all of the family members, we can turn on lights from our house, even if we're like miles and miles away. We can unlock the door, lock the door, and all these things. And that's just like you can choose to do it, or you leave it automized. Like you can set specific times for these things to turn on or turn off, and so it looks like the house is being inhabited. So I know that we're moving towards a society where like the house will automatically learn that part of it and kind of just have it ready for you.
But on one hand, or on the other hand, this kind of technology would be like bad for some people. It takes personal information sometimes, like I don't know, your name, where you live, your location, and kind of stuff. It will be not too good for people that take care of its own personal information.
Yeah, like I was mentioning to Tony earlier today how it frightens me that like my information can be out there, but it could also just be because I'm not used to it. It's something that's very new in our lives because the same alarm system asks you like, hey, give us the layout of your house and we'll be able to like help you out more. And I'm like, nope, I don't want someone having my information of how my house looks inside.
Yes, and the technology behind is about programming, and people can hack our systems, and that's when the professional ethics arise and take place here, because if engineers are not quite ethical, we can like destroy people's lives.
Yeah, and it's this thing of like data. Like I know it's like the new thing, data, and I was listening to like a podcast not so long ago that they were talking about how they had like these little Roombas that would go around the house, and they didn't realize that it knew exactly what the layout of the house was based on like where this little automized vacuum like goes to, you know. And so these things like companies can use to like sell you things, which is fine, you know, but at what point does it become too much, you know?
Yeah, and one of the things that I remember from my classes from advanced programming is that engineers or some testers from when they program, they try to define ways of do their work. For example, here the teams are using kind of different methodologies of developing software, because some of them are developing an application where it is needed a certain methodology, like for example Kanban. It is one of the methodologies, and the ways that they are developing are from iterative, as Victor said and mentioned. Iterative is like you have the product. Does the product work? Okay, what can you add? If you add this, does it work again?
And like, who's the audience also?
If it works, okay, that's it. If it didn't work, well, again, we start with looking for the solution.
Exactly. And last but not least, before we go to break, we have our group KBY, and they chose the advanced personalized learning.
Yeah, and yes, this is something that I didn't like, but it could work. But I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that they are trying to sell an app that can recognize your expression from your face.
Yeah.
And said if you are feeling bad, or you're feeling happy, you're feeling sad.
You're like interested or not interested in the lesson.
That's quite interesting, because I can like make an expression, but on my own, and then I like math. But I'm not mad at actually, so
sure.
I don't know who is gonna award that.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see like what they come up with. It sounds a little bit science fiction to us. It's things that we're not used to, and maybe like haven't really thought of, but we'll experience later in some way. But we're gonna go off to break real quick, and we will come back to you.
So thanks for watching, and keep enjoying Invent for the Planet.
Actualmente vivimos en un mundo que evoluciona minuto a minuto, y nuestra responsabilidad como instituciones politécnicas y tecnológicas es formar profesionistas capaces de poder adaptarse al cambio y superar todos los retos que se presentan en el camino, resolver problemas de manera eficiente y prepararlos para la industria del futuro. Es por eso que el modelo educativo BIS, con sus 3 ejes, bilingüe, internacional y sustentable, otorga oportunidades al estudiantado de desarrollarse de manera global.
En la demanda laboral del siglo XXI es prácticamente imprescindible dominar otra lengua además de la materna. El conocimiento de un segundo idioma como profesionista te otorga la oportunidad de extender tus posibilidades laborales alrededor del mundo. El poder expresarse en 2 idiomas de manera efectiva le da al alumno las herramientas necesarias para poder comunicarse con profesionales extranjeros, poder consultar cualquier tipo de fuente de información y también crear sus propios documentos tecnológicos, y de esta manera llevar su trabajo en un aspecto más amplio y compartirlo con el mundo.
El reto del modelo BIS en el sector internacional es brindar una educación de calidad a los estudiantes. Esto les da la oportunidad de viajar al extranjero y es una herramienta sólida que le abre camino a la industria, donde conoce la economía y cómo impacta en su trabajo. Le da un enfoque en lo que se quiere saber.
students is there's a lot of creativity.
Hi, and remember, the sun never sets
on innovation. Very good. So we're back. Just a reminder that we're going to have our show later on at 8, around 8.
Don't forget it, it will be important. We are going to closer this live show. We are going to transmit at least things that you can enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to have, so like I said, it's the recap at 4 p.m. and the live show at 8. It's the last live show. We'll be really sad to let go of you, but thank you again for participating with us or following along with us. Later on, we're going to show you a little bit of the videos of what kind of transpires from here to then. And we also have something exciting on campus right now. What is that, Tony?
That is the Fat Lab from the
IEM, which is IYEM from the Institute.
Yeah, we got the Fat Lab. There are the resources for the teams, like CNC machines,
or like 3D printers, laser cutters.
So it's just for manufacturing the
like their ideas.
Yeah, the prototypes that they have till now, if they have.
Exactly. And don't forget, you can follow us here on Twitter at UPY Yucatan or UP Yucatan, Facebook UP Yucatan MX, and at UP Yucatan.
And in LinkedIn, we got LinkedIn. It is Universidad Politécnica de Yucatán.
Yes.
You can look us there and please join us.
And before we leave, we would like to thank our captain, who has been doing all the behind-the-scenes work. Thank you for your hard work there.
Thank you, Capitan. We are grateful for your work.
You guys are awesome, and we are so thankful for you because you have kept this going, and we love you so much.
This was Tony Hill
and Mitzi Vilches.
And thank you for watching. See you soon.
See you soon.
Actualmente vivimos en un mundo que evoluciona minuto a minuto, y nuestra responsabilidad como instituciones politécnicas y tecnológicas es formar profesionistas capaces de poder adaptarse al cambio y superar todos los retos que se presentan en el camino, resolver problemas de manera eficiente y prepararlos para la industria del futuro. Es por eso que el modelo educativo BIS, con sus 3 ejes, bilingüe, internacional y sustentable, otorga oportunidades al estudiantado de desarrollarse de manera global.
En la demanda laboral del siglo XXI es prácticamente imprescindible dominar otra lengua además de la materna. El conocimiento de un segundo idioma como profesionista te otorga la oportunidad de extender tus posibilidades laborales alrededor del mundo. El poder expresarse en 2 idiomas de manera efectiva le da al alumno las herramientas necesarias para poder comunicarse con profesionales extranjeros, poder consultar cualquier tipo de fuente de información y también crear sus propios documentos tecnológicos y de esta manera llevar su trabajo en un aspecto más amplio y compartirlo con el mundo.
El reto del modelo BIS en el sector internacional es brindar una educación de calidad a los estudiantes. Esto les da la oportunidad de viajar al extranjero y es una herramienta sólida que le abre camino a la industria, donde conoce la economía y cómo impacta en su trabajo. Le da un enfoque en lo que se quiere desarrollar en las tecnologías de vanguardias globales.
La parte de sustentabilidad del modelo BIS es que el alumno, al estar en contacto directo con la responsabilidad del cuidado del medio ambiente, los recursos naturales y el ecosistema, se sensibiliza en temas de sustentabilidad y al mismo tiempo enfocando su trabajo en los mismos aspectos sociales y ecológicos, creando en él la empatía para el desarrollo de proyectos para un futuro sostenible.
El modelo BIS se encarga de integrar en el alumno competencias lingüísticas, pluriculturales y de sustentabilidad, para formar profesionistas globales y responsables en la educación superior politécnica y tecnológica de México.